Shalom. I want to start by giving all the praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushai Ba'ashem, Rahuchakwadash. Double honor to the elder apostles of the great millstone who rule well, and as always, peace and blessings to the hopeful elect tabernacle of David, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Salutations. Now, another cult of personality, another false leader, another bug out. You can see on the screen, this is from Fox News, and it's apparent that, he went down, I guess, for several accounts of rape, false imprisonment, and some other charges. And you know, the Lord is just beginning, all right, when it comes to exposing these false prophets and false leaders and fake messiahs. It's only beginning, and the Lord already gave us the warning that you would have false anointed that would rise up in these last days. Now, this dude here, he we knew him by the name of Nature Boy. His real name being Eligio Bishop, which interesting when you look up his name. The word Eligio is a Latin word. It means chosen one. All right, and that's ironic. He was named chosen one and bishop, but he's a false prophet. All right, so he's definitely not of the elect in that regard. All right, and the scriptures tell you the criteria of a bishop, and he's definitely not a bishop. All right, but anyway, I'm gonna actually play the clip so y'all can listen, and I will definitely get into some scriptures because you got a lot of these type of characters that's out there, misleading a lot of a lot of simple-minded Jake, and especially with this dude, he has a big following of women. All right, a lot of women, with Stockholm syndrome, that's they're seduced by this dude's code of personality. They're attracted to the dude. He has his mind manipulation game on point. So he has a big following with women. Moved a bunch of women out of Babylon down to Central America, Latin America. All right, this is the same dude who said, and it was on video. It might still be on YouTube, but he basically said, "Hey, there's nothing wrong with basically having sex with my woman while she best breastfeeds her child." He said that. He basically said that he would be giving he'd give his one of his wives back shots while she's giving she's breastfeeding her one of her children. This is a sick dude. He's sex crazed. All right. He teaches polygamy, which nothing wrong with polygyny. A man, according to the scriptures, can have more than one woman. That's how a man can multiply and build a legacy in a nation. But these men, they do it for the wrong reasons. We know the scriptures say also in the epistle, all things are lawful, but all things are not expedient. And if you're going to call you, if you're a bishop, it even tells you part of the criteria is to be the husband of one wife. But obviously, he didn't take that instruction. Everything was based on his own desire. A lot of these dudes, they're serving their own belly. Let me get that. Let's go to Romans 16. A lot of these figures are in this thing for themselves, and that's also scripture. In the last days, you're gonna have those that are lovers of their own selves. So Romans 16 and 17, it says, "Now beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offenses contrary to the doctrine which you have learned, and avoid them." And that dude, he's a complete bug out. When I used to see him, I used to think like I'm sure he's part of the black unconscious community. But then, I read some more into him. He actually, takes some of his talking points to justify his lifestyle from the Bible. But of course, they take and twist some of it, all right, to fit their narrative and how they're living. But a lot of these dudes, they in this thing for their own belly, their own pleasure. You have men who have crept in unawares, and they turn the grace of Yahushai into lasciviousness. You see? Let me see. Let me get that real quick too. Yeah, we wasn't given this grace, to turn it into, a thing of your own flesh, man. Yeah, Jude 1 verse 4. It says the warnings of history to the ungodly. All right, Jude verse 4 says, for there are certain men crept in unawares, which, this dude, he wasn't a part of the truth. He wasn't, within Israel. He operated outside of Israel, but he was another false leader character in Israel, seducing people and misleading them. Another blind leader of the blind. All right. Because where there are certain men crept in unawares who were before of old ordained to this condemnation. All these dudes that's getting found out, all right, they were all ordained to this condemnation. All right. And he's not suffering because he's a man of the Lord. They getting his ass because he's a demon. All right. It says, ungodly men turning the grace of our power into lasciviousness and denying the Lord, the only Lord power, and our Lord Yahushua Mashiach. He teaches that, he's the chosen one, he's the Messiah. Let me get the other translations. NLT says, I say this because some ungodly people have wormed their way into your churches, saying that the Most High's marvelous grace allows us to live immoral lives. That sounds like the church, the modern Christian church. The condemnation of such people was recorded long ago, for they have denied our only Master and Lord, Yahushua Mashiach. All right. I'll read the ESV. It says, for certain people have crept in unnoticed, who long ago were designated for this condemnation. Ungodly people who pervert the grace of our power into sensuality and deny our only Master and Lord, Yahushua Mashiach. And that's exactly when you see that guy, Nature Boy, and his cult following. They're heavy into sensuality. So let's look at this real quick. Let me Here we go.
For a man accused of leading a cult and raping a former member. Police arrested Eligio Bishop late Wednesday night after officers surrounded his home near Decatur. That arrest came after a woman told police he raped her and posted sexually explicit videos of her on the internet. Fox 5's Portia Bruner is live at the DeKalb County Jail with the story. Portia?
Yes, and obviously that woman is identified police as a victim of rape, so we cannot identify her. But we do know that after she left the organization called Carbonation, she told police that she was the victim of a rape and that Mr. Bishop used video of a sexual encounter and posted it online as revenge porn. Based on the charges against him, that's why a DeKalb County magistrate judge decided to deny bond.
Yeah, if you're gonna be, if you're supposed to be Bishop, that that's funny. That's his actual name. But the scriptures tell you if you're a bishop, you're supposed to be blameless. That's not supposed to be the behavior of an overseer. All right. 1 Timothy 3 verse 1. This is a true saying. If a man desire the office of a bishop, he desires a good work. A bishop then must be blameless. And this guy, he boy oh boy, you get into some of the shit that he taught and the things that he's been known to do. He's definitely not blameless. The husband of one wife, but this dude got a whole harem. Vigilant, sober, of good behavior. Apparently, you see He's definitely not displaying good behavior. All right. Now, certain people will say, well, GMS, y'all teach that it's lawful to rape women. We ain't telling brothers to go around and just take women. We said according to the law, there's a certain protocol on how to handle rape if it happened. All right. That's all we've said. Okay. But we don't go around and encouraging that behavior. We're supposed to be blameless. It says to uh, uh, um it says to be blameless, that the ministry, it's like you do nothing without offense, that the ministry be not blamed. So we're not going to give wicked advice to brothers. We're not going to encourage brothers to you know do things that's going to tarnish uh the ministry. All right, we got to exercise self-control, man. It talks about getting the mastery. Getting the mastery, part of that is being temperate. All right, you gotta be temperate in all things, as it is written, man. And temperance, it means to have self-control. All right, we got to rule our spirit. You got to be disciplined. A group like his, they're very sensual, so they don't have that kind of discipline. All right, this nigga got his teachings while in prison, which is typical. So he's clearly not no bishop. It says, given to hospitality, apt to teach, not given to wine, not no striker, not greedy of filthy lucre, but patient, not a brawler, not covetous. All right. So let's go back.
Eligio Bishop, known as Nature Boy online and as Three God by his followers in the group Carbon Nation, heard the long list of charges against him Friday from a virtual court hearing at the DeKalb County Jail.
With a prohibition on sexually explicit transmissions, 3 counts of that, 1 count of rape, and 1 count of false imprisonment. Because of those charges, I'm not able to set a bond in your case.
Outstanding. Outstanding was the only word we heard from Bishop in court.
Black man is God.
The black man is God.
And y'all just locked up the Messiah.
Thursday, followers who were at Bishop's home on Arbor Chase.
Look at this shit. That's why you most likely gonna kill niggas, man. Look at these simple ass Negroes. And look at this shit. I mean, something tells me like with this kind of behavior and these gestures, is this group, are they juiced in? Are they set up? I don't know. Y'all could be the judge though, but this is funny style. Them throwing up the 3 6s, all right, over one eye. It's very occultic, very. And then they got on all black. This is why the Most High gonna destroy Jake. But see, they're led by a false leader. That's why it says in let's go real quick. Isaiah 9:16. And it says, for the leaders of this people cause them to err, and they that are led of them are destroyed. And you see Jake is destroyed. What the hell is this, man? Jake is gone. But they following a false leader, a false Messiah. Many shall come in my name, saying, I am anointed, and shall deceive many. These dudes have a code of personality. They get attached to the way a dude can speak. It's charisma. They'll mix a little knowledge here and there with some deception and fabricated pseudoscience, and Jake gets got. They get seduced. Especially these silly ass women. I'm gonna get that scripture too. It talks about how they lead captive silly women laden with sin. But they look gone, man. Let me get back. Let me finish this verse. Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offenses contrary to the doctrine which you have learned, and avoid them. but they that are such serve not our Lord Yahushua Mashiach. All right, basically, when you call yourself the Messiah and the chosen one, you're denying Yahushua. Yahushua is he's really the chosen one, and then Yahushua has his first fruits, which is the elect. They're the chosen ones up under Yahushua. All right, you're not the Mashiach. You're a damn dickhead. You're a demon. All right, who had the gift of gab to seduce a lot of simple, silly ass women. Formed you a harem, got a bunch of wives, children, and according to what I've read, he convinced women that already had families to leave their family and come down there with him in Central America. you know, so he definitely had these people minds, man. He had their mind. A lot of these leaders, they're basically witches, man. It says, but their own belly and by good words and fair speeches deceive the hearts of the simple. Yeah, the simple believeth every word, man. All right. So look, Jake is silly as hell, and the Most High is going to destroy every last one of them if they don't open their eyes. But let's finish this report out, and then we'll get some more.
The night of the arrest defended their leader and insisted women are not mistreated here. They invited us inside the home of the 40-year-old leader.
And that's what it's like in those type of groups. The women, they got Stockholm syndrome. No different than the women at R. Kelly that was defending the dude, that stayed at his little compound or whatever. They was defending him, and then when they brought his ass down, then some of them start to jump ship and finally start coming out on him. See? But they, in their mind, he's really the Messiah to them. you know? So yeah, Jake is done, man. My people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge.
And showed us some of the videos they create here that are not sexual in nature.
We teach about sexuality, religion, and these are things that as people we have we're very defined in and confined in our belief systems.
DeKalb County Police say a woman who recently left Carbon Nation told investigators Bishop raped her and posted video of a sexual encounter as revenge porn. Investigators arrested him Wednesday night. The women and men who follow Bishop say everything that happens here is consensual and designed to help black people heal.
Notice all these hand gestures. First they was throwing up the 3 6s, and now they throwing up the Vesica Pisces. It's all Masonic, man. So something tells me that maybe this shit might be a setup any damn way. So this could be another device from the devil, man. So we're not ignorant of Satan's devices, man. All right. We know after the recent psyops with these so-called shootings, now they putting the narrative out there about black nationalism. All right. Now they finna talk about leaders, cult leaders, and this and that and the third. And they're gonna demonize the Bible because a lot of his teachings come from the scriptures. Where does he get the concept of being a Messiah from, or a bishop? All right. You go to his beliefs, talking about this particular group, the Carbon Nation. They teach that the end times is near, just like a prophet would teach the end times. Right? Then that demon, all right, that old Bill Cosby, Bill Duke looking agent, Frank James, he had a whole channel called Prophet of Truth. Everybody talking about the end times. Everybody talking about what's going to happen at the end. Calling himself a prophet or a Messiah. So it's going to be attached to the word, where they're going to start demonizing the scriptures. All because of these characters, man. But hey, it must come, and Yahushua himself, we went into it last night. The prophecy said that he would be numbered among the transgressors. So somehow, some way, with all this going on, whether these things are staged or not, set up or not, the narrative is just going to be built, and they're going to somehow try to attach us to it to demonize us and accuse us. All right, But these are all tactics from the left hand. They trying to set that snare, those traps. All right. So let's continue. And then, matter of fact, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look this dude up because there was a site where it actually goes into his beliefs and his teachings. And you can see for yourself that this guy was clearly not. He was definitely not a man of the Lord. He was a demon. So let's finish this out.
And to help Black people heal from the wounds of oppression.
We're here going back to indigenous living and our true roles as men and women. And some people, women come here, they don't get their way and they go against the Black man. They do false allegations.
It is definitely a cult.
Former Carbon Nation member Erica Carroll says she joined this group several years ago and left, convinced Bishop was brainwashing and mistreating women who trust him.
He is someone that needs to be locked up or either in jail or in a mental asylum.
Now, it is not clear when Mr. Bishop is going to have a preliminary court hearing. That's the type of hearing where we hear more evidence from police and what prosecutors have learned in their investigation since the night of the arrest. At this point, though, we do know that he is going to remain at the DeKalb County Jail with no bond.
Well, now real quick, let's go to 2 Timothy 3. Because dealing with these women, man, it never fails. David Koresh, the Edomite fake Messiah that got burned in that compound by the what was it, the ATF, the FBI. They came together and they burnt them motherfuckers alive. But he had a code of personality. He knew the Bible. He was even trying to write his own version of the Bible, the 7 seals and shit. All right. And he convinced all those dummies in that building that was living with him to stay with them in that compound. And they all burned to death. So you know that the Lord wasn't dealing with them. They were a bunch of simple people, man. All right. This is 2 Timothy 3 and verse 6. It says, "For this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sins, led away with diverse lusts." That's these women, man. NLT, it says, "They are the kind who work their way into people's homes and win the confidence of vulnerable women who are burdened with the guilt of sin and controlled by various desires." So you already know, he seduced their mind and put it in their head that, they're making the right move if they leave their family, they leave Babylon and go to, go stay with this dude, probably attracted to the dude. So, they were convinced and seduced. Silly, man. All right. Nigga was probably doing all type of threesomes and having orgy, all type of just wickedness, man. And these women get turned on by that kind of shit. All right. These chicks, yeah, NIV, gullible. They use the term gullible. They are the kind who worm their way into homes and gain control over gullible women who are loaded down with sins and are swayed by all kinds of evil desires. So that's these type of characters prey on those kind of women. So when you see a massive amount of women, congregating with a particular type of group, you better believe that's definitely not the way. All right, it's all type of freakism, confusion. All right, Eve is used to being beguiled, man. That's the reason why the scriptures tell you about Eve. All right, how Adam wasn't deceived, but Eve being deceived was in the transgression. That's why she's not to be a leader of anything. She's not to be a teacher. All right, and hey, you sisters, y'all blessed. That the Lord led you to the right men to teach you right. We ain't gonna do no crazy ass shit like that, man. Right? It says, "Ever learning and never able to come into the knowledge of the truth," and that's a lot of these women are like that. When you read the context of it, it's talking about these women. NLT, such women are forever following new teachings, but they are never able to understand the truth. And if they understood the truth, they would have never gave themselves over to that seducing spirit. All right. Now they stuck in the prison of their mind. All right, that this guy, he's the Messiah. He's the man. All right, now let's go real quick. Nature Boy teachings. Hold up, let me see. Right here. So, this got compiled up, right, based on, the observances and the teachings that he teaches, based on all the videos put out, where you get to hear him, all right, and what his followers teach. It's by Joanne Jones. I became aware of the man known as Nature Boy nearly a year ago. I was following a YouTube channel whose objective was exposing an imposter pretending to be a psychologist. Periodically, I would receive a recommendation for videos featuring someone named Nature Boy. I ignored them, but eventually I clicked on one of the videos. What I saw was discomforting. I would describe Nature Boy as tall, somewhat unkempt, and erratic. He was shirtless and wearing a sarong. He seems not particularly bright or articulate. In fact, his vocabulary was street, but he has the skills of manipulation often associated with a good charlatan or a charismatic con man. You got those out there, man. A lot of seducing spirits, a lot of imposters, but they have personality to them. All right, they come with some type of fabricated story about themselves to win you over. I believe that's in was that Second Peter 2? Yeah, 2 Peter 2 verse 1, it says, "But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privately shall bring in damnable heresies, even denying the Lord that brought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction." All right, this when we're gonna read further into it, but he also taught that diseases are psychological. So, in other words, herbs are useless. Basically, don't use medication. So that was one of his teachings. We know what the scriptures say concerning herbs, but also we gotta say prayer too if you're sick. But he didn't teach none of that. All right. He was also into astrology and all type of other stuff. All right. It says, "And many shall follow their pernicious ways," meaning destructive ways that'll lead you to destruction, "by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of." All right. The ministry will be blamed. Them attaching themselves to principles that is taken out of the Bible. People start to blame the Bible for how these people are living when they're misusing scripture. It says, and through covetousness shall they with vain words make merchandise of you. Them women was definitely supporting that dude, whose judgment now of a long time lingereth not, and their damnation slumbereth not. All right. So this is just part of the judgment, but we know the Lord ain't finished with this dude. All right. And going out like what was his name? Dr. Malachi Z. York. All right, Polite's spiritual father. that serial pedophile and demon. He was worshipped too. He was revered, and look how the Lord brought him down, brought judgment upon him. Okay, so let me go back to it. It says, Nature Boy preaches that the end times are near and that he is the Messiah. Let's get Matthew 24. In Matthew 24, verse 4, it says, And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am anointed, and shall deceive many. So that warning was already there, and it's a lot of them. Let me see if I can, Matthew 24 and 11, And many false prophets shall arise and deceive many. Verse 24, For there shall arise false anointeds and false prophets, and shall shew great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they should deceive the very elect. But there's no enchantment against Jacob, man, the elect of Jacob. All right. Yeah, that's it. So I just have to definitely bring those precepts out. It says, his rhetoric includes a theory about people of color living close to the equator, bugged out. According to him, this is imperative for maintaining health and a peace of mind. Where is that in the scriptures? It says one must leave what he calls Babylon, America. And is that not what the leader of the GOCC once taught? It had a lot of people scrambling and leaving, getting passports and leaving over to Egypt and other parts of the world, only for him to abandon them, leave them out there stranded, to come back to America. And now he over there doing the splits, get on stage, getting his Casey and JoJo on, making R&B albums, defending Esau, the so-called white man in these other nations. Bugged out, man. So he's another one. It says, and live a natural lifestyle in the tropics. There people must eat his version of a B6 diet. So he's telling you what to eat and defecate at the base of trees. Wow. There will be no need for a doctor or medication. In the world of Nature Boy, all diseases are psychological. This guy, he's bugged out. All right. Now the scriptures tell you about, honoring a physician. The Lord gave us medicines from the earth for our service, the herbs. Sirach 38. I hope they don't strike me for saying this. I know Esau wants you to depend solely on his sorcery. Anything outside of that is medical misinformation. We got to get up out of here. This is Sirach 38. And verse 1, it says, Honor a physician with the honor due to him for the uses which he may have of him, for the Lord have created him. For the Most High cometh healing. If he shall receive honor of the king, the skill of the physician shall lift up his head. In the sight of great men, he shall be in admiration. The Lord had created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them. All right, but not Nature Boy, which that's ironic. You call yourself Nature Boy. Everything is supposed to be natural, but you're saying leave the natural herbs of the earth alone. Bugged out. As I listened, it sounded like some bizarre mixture of organized religion, astrology, and new concepts. A rational person might conclude that Nature Boy is spouting moronic nonsense to be believed by no one. However, our history with groups called cults, founded by charismatic authoritarian leaders, reflects otherwise, and Nature Boy has been called a cult leader. Which Esau is a master of using newspeak to vilify people, because the word cult, when you look it up, it just simply means worship. All right, every organization that's devout to something is a cult. So by the technicality of the original definition, it wouldn't be considered anything bad or evil. But Esau, he knows how to manage to take certain words and change its meaning and turn it into something evil. That's something the devil would do. So even when they call us a cult, we don't even get upset at it because we know what the original term for cult mean. But if they mean cult in a negative sense, hey, him and his group, they deserve that because of how they're moving. All right, people are not supposed to be able to have anything evil to say about you. They could the worst they can do is come up with slander, because that's how Yahweh Shai was treated. They didn't have anything on him. Let me get Titus real quick. We're supposed to have our conversation honest. Titus 2 verse 6, it says, young men likewise exhort to be sober-minded in all things, showing thyself a pattern of good works, and doctrine showing uncorruptness, gravity, sincerity, sound speech that cannot be dimmed, that he that is of the contrary part may be ashamed, having no evil thing to say of you. All right, talking about being blameless. And we're known for just going out and teaching. All this other extra drama, you don't often hear that associated with us because we don't tolerate it. Okay, let me see. In 1 Peter 2 verse 12, it says, having your conversation, meaning your conduct or behavior, honest, meaning pure, sincere, among the Gentiles, that whereas they speak against you as evildoers, they may by your good works, which they shall behold, glorify the Most High in the day of visitation. Okay. 1 Peter 3. Let me actually go there. 1 Peter 3 and 15, it says, but sanctify the Lord power in your hearts, and be ready always to give an answer to every man that asketh you a reason of the hope that is in you with meekness and fear, having a good conscience, a pure conscience, that whereas they speak evil of you as of evildoers, they may be ashamed that falsely accuse your good conversation in Hamashiach. For it is better if the will of the Most High be so that you suffer for well doing than for evil doing. All right, for well doing and not evil doing. The Lord and Yahweh Shai didn't set the example where you're gonna have men going to set up harems and get a bunch of wives and brainwash the hell out of them and pop them and have your way, basically set up a damn sex cult. All right, and continue to seduce and lure people by false teachings, man. So you already know you're gonna be spoken of as evildoers. At least when the persecution happens to us, it's gonna be for a Mashiach's sake. 1 Peter 4 and 13, it says, but rejoice in as much as you are partakers of Hamashiach's sufferings, that when his glory shall be revealed, you may be glad also with exceeding joy. If you be reproached for the name of a Mashiach, happy are ye, for the spirit of glory and of the Most High resteth upon you. On their part he is evil spoken of, but on your part he is glorified. But let none of you suffer as a murderer, or as a thief, or as an evildoer, or as a busybody in other men's matters. Yet if any man suffer as a Christian, or the follower of the anointed, let him not be ashamed, but let him glorify the Most High on his behalf. All right? So we're going to suffer. It's going to be based off of us following Yahweh Shai and prophesying. All right? Teaching that his kingdom is going to be instituted. It's going to take down this current kingdom. And that's why we sound like terrorists to these elite. Okay? But all this other extra stuff, it's going to come out. It's going to be exposed. All right? All you false prophets out there, you're going to be exposed one by one. And all these leaders that want to follow you, hey, the Lord said it. Let the blind lead the blind. All right, Matthew 15, verse 14. Let them alone. They be the blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch. The Lord ain't looking for the whole nation. He's going to destroy 2/3 of them. All right. So anybody that took this dude serious and followed him, you spaced out your mind. But it was appointed for you. All right. So anyway, I'm gonna close it with that. I'm gonna give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And hey, death to you false leaders, you false prophets, you demons out there, man. The Most High he's gonna judge you. All right. So with that, Shalom.